Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction bingo for One Piece chapter 1103. And, I keep thinking every week, I'm like, okay, we might be out of the flashback this time around. And every time I think about it, I'm just like a little bit worried that when we get out of the flashback, things might fall apart again, just because the flashback's been incredible. Some of Oda's best work in a long, long time. Maybe, arguably, some of the best work in the series if you really, really like it that much. I would not fault anybody for thinking that this Kuma flashback was some of their favorite stuff ever. It's been very, very good. But, the flashbacks have been good lately, the cutaways have been good, but the actual main story has been hit and miss, to say the least, which has me a little bit worried, just a teeny bit worried. But either way, I think that this one might be a little bit of a wait for those of you who aren't patrons and members, because as usual, I should probably mention, I will put these out when the scans come out for patrons and members, and then make it public when the official translation is out. And I think we're getting this early because of scans. I thought this week was supposed to be off, but I think this is actually next week's chapter, but there's a break because of New Year's, so scans are coming out really early. I think that's what the deal is, and I think that means our break, or our wait for the next one, is going to be extra long because of the New Year's break. Pretty sure there's always a New Year's break for Jump as a whole. So yeah, a little bit confusing, but we'll see how things go. I'm just, whenever I see a new chapter out for the scans, I'm just going to do one of these. So either way, I also should say that in the comments and description, I'll put a link so you can make your own bingo card. I forgot to do that last week. So either way, before we get into reading, let's look through the bingo card for this week. I really didn't change the options that you could end up getting from the generator. I didn't change the options very much this time around. I changed a couple. So this week, what I ended up with was, Nika mentioned, Kuma doesn't die. Kuma makes it through the chapter without dying, because every week I've been like, Kuma death, Kuma death. I just put Kuma doesn't die. New name Devil Fruit, any Straw Hat member, fan service, new cover story, Gorosei, Vivi Wappler Morgans, Carrot and or Zunisha, we're in a flashback still or again, bounty reveal, named attack, free space which we can click, where's Caribou, a supernova other than Bonney, Luffy, or Zoro, because I was like, maybe what if we see like Drake or something again, because we did a little bit a little while ago. A named character death, Zoan transformation, Vegapunk, any of them will count for this, Admiral, Devil Fruit Awakening, Food, I threw up here, Smoker, Back to the Present. We actually got Smoker last time. If we see Present Smoker and figure out what happened there, that'd be very neat. Back to the Present, Seraphim, which, Back to the Present, we could be close to. We could finally be here. And a revolutionary other than Kuma. So if we get to see like Sabo or Dragon or somebody, or Ivankov. So yeah. Either way, let's finally get into reading, which, as usual, at least I have something on screen with the bingo, because I'm not allowed to show Jump, Shueisha stuff. But we have a Jump cover with Luffy front and center, and it's Year of the Dragon stuff. Oh, it says, like, Revolution, but the Lu is, like, Ryu, like dragon. Okay. And, like, in the bottom right, you've got the guy from Undead Unluck, I think. And then above him, I think that's Nico from Witch Watch, but I'm not sure. Is Witch Watch still going on? Over to the left, I didn't know Robico was still going on. Robico's there. You've got Izuku on the right. On the left, I'm pretty sure that's Chitose from Blue Box. Every time I look at these Jump covers, it's like always Chitose, I think was her name, and not Taiki. So I'm like, did Taiki just get superseded as main character by Chitose? Which would be fine, because Taiki was kind of a trash character. You've also got Sakamoto in the center, and a bunch of characters I don't realize because I've been out of the weekly Jump game, basically. And up top, it's interesting, there's like the Ace, King, and Queen, and it's Luffy, Deku, and Itadori. And that kind of makes me think, like, is that how Jump considers their series right now? Because, I mean, it would make sense. Even though, for me, I'm more excited for Jujutsu Kaisen than Hero Academia right now, that might just be because I just started Jujutsu Kaisen, so just starting it, it's, like, fresher in my head. I've got the, what's it called? I say it all the time. The recency bias going on. That might be a part of it. But it does kind of make sense if they consider that, like, their current big three. But either way, we're moving along. I wonder if we'll finally get a cover story. We do have, probably not, because we have a color spread this time around. And it's also Year of the Dragon theme. They all have dragon shirts, like with the kanji for dragon and everything. So Zoro's is green. I love the one on Frankie looks like Kaido. I love Frankie's hair in this. It's amazing. But the one on his shoulder looks like the goofy cartoon Gear 5 Kaido face. We have Momo and Yamato there. Which, like, you know, get the Wano off my screen, please. But I don't mind. I like I like Momonosuke a lot. Yamato feels like a weirder inclusion, given that, you know, not actually a dragon. And also Yamato being just, I probably shouldn't feel this way, but kind of being one of the like mascots of Wano being like the worst shonen arc I've ever read, completely destroying Oda and One Piece's overall legacy and credibility in my eyes. But really, like, that wasn't like all Yamato. Yamato is just one example of many poorly written attempts at making a character in Wano. And it's like, pretty much no characters, like very few of them, came out of Wano with me thinking that their writing was better than when they went in, or at least thinking that their writing wasn't worse than when they went in. Like, most of the Straw Hats came out and I'm like, okay, we can spend 100+ chapter, we can have this big climactic fight against a Yonko crew, and some of the Straw Hats don't even do anything, get no character development. I'm like, that really cements them as they don't matter anymore for a lot of the Straw Hats. Or like, I think Sanji's one of the only characters that I came out of Wano not thinking that he was more poorly written than when he went into Wano. And then like, there are a couple of characters that were introduced, like I'd say like, Ulti lived up to being a Yonko crew member. Ulti actually did things. I think Tama was a really good art character. Yasue was a good art character. There are like a few, but generally it's 100+ chapters of not even mid, but below mid, just ass tier writing. So while I do think that Yamato is one of Oda's worst attempts at writing a character, like, and when I think of Wano, I also kind of think of Yamato, like, it's not fair for me to put all of Wano's woes and, like, project that onto a character. As if Yamato's character isn't almost 100% projection anyway, given that, like, you look at any discussion in the One Piece sort of fan space, and Yamato's character, according to One Piece fans, is like 95 to 98% headcanon and like 2 to 5% what's actually in the manga. So, you know, it is what it is. I could talk all day about how awful Wano is and how it's one of the worst shonen arcs, or probably the worst shonen arc I've ever read, but I would like to not talk about Wano. So let's move into the actual chapter. And we start off with Bonney. You saw everything. Chapter 1103. I'm so sorry, Daddy. I did. Now I've really done it. I broke my promise to Kuma. And she turns, oh, I wonder if that's her, like, actual age. And then hugs him. I'm sorry, Vegapunk. Man, because Vegapunk actually cared. Like, to give credit where it's due to Vegapunk, he actually did care. But so far, I won't count any Straw Hat member yet, just because, like, I'm not going to count the color spread. I'm not going to count it. We do have a flashback still. This is, like, not as far back, but it's still a flashback. And we do have Vegapunk. I think that's about it for right now, though. Yeah. Not quite back to the present yet. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. We might have some more to fill in a little bit. What's that? A gift Kuma left with me for your 10th birthday. From Dad? That's great. A sapphire necklace. How pretty. It looks like the sun. I'll treasure it forever. He said it's a protective charm. Honestly, though, it's hard to believe what that kid has become after only 2 years. Straw Hat? So he's the son of Dad's old buddy, right? Indeed, I was stunned when you both showed up together. Fate is a strange thing. A lot has happened on Egghead while you've been in that room. The Straw Hat crew saved me just now, in fact. I'll explain everything. We can meet up with them when things have calmed down. Okay, so this is like right after she was looking at the memories, he got saved, and then he came back to get her before he was captured, I think. Or actually, no, this might have been going on while he was captured. Then he got saved from being captured, met back up with her, and then they met back up with the rest of the Straw Hats. I'm sorry for everything, Bonney. Now you know how worthless I am. A mere scientist for hire, following his orders. You're wrong. The real villain is him. The present. We are finally. It's been so long. I got chills, kinda. We are back to the present. Egghead New World. Jewelry Bonney the pirate. Your father Kuma is truly dead. Damn it! Why can't I move? Oh, and they're still frozen from whatever his power is. Bonney, food. Someone give me food. Meat. I would if I could, but my body. And we have Atlas. Vegapunk's bodyguard is in custody. I repeat, we've got Sentomaru. Sentomaru still looks like they're doing pretty okay. Sentomaru-kun? Bonney thinks Kizaru... So is Kizaru going to be a good guy? Any word on the status of things up there? We can't confirm the situation since Commodores and below aren't allowed to approach. A siege involving an emperor. It'll be a miracle if there are no casualties. The scale is bigger than the Ohara incident. Please be safe, Dr. Vegapunk. Assuming there's still a trace of Kuma in there, where would his instincts take him, Eva? If it was me, I would storm Mariwa for some payback. But as we know, Kuma's different. He cares about his family, I'm assuming, but we have some more things to check off. We do have the Straw Hats. We saw at least Sanji and Frankie there, and Luffy. I don't think I would count fan service yet. Nika hasn't been mentioned yet. No new cover story still. We did see a Gorosei, no Vivi Bopple or Morgans. No other supernovas, right? Named attack, not yet. Bounty reveal, no. Name character death, no. I feel like... Yeah, Admiral, we saw Kizaru. I don't know if I should count Awakening yet. I don't know if I should count Awakening or not for Saturn when he has the things on him, you know, the markings. Revolution. We need Nika to be mentioned. We are also holding out for Nika this week, or at least I am for my board. Alright, yeah, revolutionaries other than Kuma. We did see Eva and Dragon. We are back to the present. I don't believe we saw any food yet. Luffy asked for some, though. But let's continue. If I'm gonna get killed here anyway, then distorted future. Nika mentioned. Future. We got a bingo already. This is what, our only second bingo ever, and we got one this early in the chapter. Okay, let's try to get some more. But heck yeah, that's great. It just felt too easy. Felt too easy this week. What the? I suddenly feel weak again. Why? Yeah, it has to be something. The way they're acting isn't like the way that hockey normally affects people, so it has to be something with his devil fruit rather than the hockey. So you know that, or you too know that name. You really are his daughter. That being said, you don't fully understand its meaning. It seems she hasn't drawn the connection between Nika and Straw Hat's new white form. How pathetic. Oh, and Luffy's eating. We do got food. Where'd that food come from? Who's responsible for this? Put him in sea stone cuffs immediately. Okay, so Luffy is scarfing down food. Hold on, I gotta click food here. Yeah, hold on here. Also, just it's so disappointing having it be like, yes, Luffy's new form because he has the special Hito fruit. Lame. Oh, it's so awful. Sorry, just Wano bringing back all these memories of how Luffy's character was assassinated. Get him. What's with this? Oh? Oh, Kizaru's silent? What's with this geezer? I can't even change his age. Really, Bonney, you owe that power of yours to me. So she can't... That's usually a hockey thing. If you can't overcome the other person's hockey with your own, then your abilities aren't going to work on them. Because that happened with Law, kind of. Or Law could, like, break out of abilities. Yeah, both Law had people like Big Mom who could resist his abilities, but also he broke through Dot Q's ability by using it. So someone with strong enough Haki could be able to resist or break out of Bonney's powers. It's interesting that she can't use it on him. So maybe he has a crazy strong Haki in addition to whatever his devil fruit abilities are. We conducted experiments to determine whether extract infusions could grant a baby an ability without feeding them the fruit normally. It was a success, but the fruit itself is useless now. Hold on. That's interesting too. Conducting an experiment to give somebody a fruit's power without them eating the fruit so that you could give multiple people the same devil fruit power, and like we know that he's like a scientist, he's something of a scientist himself. So Saturn was a part of that. So yeah, they tried to do it so you could give the same devil fruit to multiple people by not having them actually eat it, even though you could technically also try that, because I don't think you need to eat the whole thing. Even eating just a bite is enough. But if you use the extract from the fruit and use it to give her powers, then the fruit doesn't work anymore. So again, getting deeper into how devil fruits work. Its ability can transform you into a state that matches any future perceived to be possible. Future where I win. Just go for future where I win. But that means the possibilities become as limited as your future becomes more certain. As you uncover the truth. That is an interesting way to put it. Because something that I brought up before, they mentioned that devil fruits are anything that anyone can dream up. And so what I was thinking is the way the Nika fruit works is it's still kind of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, but what I was thinking after Wano is devil fruits work how you think they work. Because why does Hawkins' straw fruit do all this voodoo stuff instead of just straw powers? In the same way, Luffy can do all this crazy stuff with the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and even the cartoony stuff makes sense for it to just be a power that turns you into rubber, but it's how far can your imagination go with that? But the biggest, I think, evidence for it are the Zoans we saw. It's King and Queen, because Queen could do Brachiosnacus, and King could do, this is how dinosaurs hunted in the ancient past, and stuff like that is because. And also the spinning neck thing that what's his face, the guy Frankie fought, Sasaki, the thing that he did. It's how you think your devil fruit works is how it actually works. So her power can change her to different futures that she can imagine, but it's what she can imagine. But if she's if she gets to the point where it's I can only imagine a few different futures from here, a few different ways that things can turn out, what he's saying. As the possibilities that you can think of become limited, then you'll have less abilities, basically. So that's my thing. I think devil fruits work how you think they work. Because that's I think somebody said before that when I say somebody said before, I think it was said before in SBSs or something, that the name comes from the powers you get. People just think up the name. Either that or the name already exists and it just comes into your head and then you get your powers. So it's your powers are what you think they are, is what I think. I think that's how devil fruits work. Nika is just an impossible myth you wanted to believe in. Nika's real. So if she stops believing in him and believing that one day in the future she could be like him, then she'll lose the ability to do that. Nika's real. I've been looking for him to save Dad ever since you turned him into your cyborg slave. Yet your sudden weakening proves you're starting to doubt whether his existence is possible. Your father just passed on, a worthless buccaneer legend. He once told me he wanted to save people just like Nika. Your mother, being brought to the Holy Land to be wife number 8, is really ironic. She ended up being part of my drug experiments. So I wonder, his wife number 8? Or is wife number 8 what they called the people they were experimenting on? Like the other failures, she developed Sapphire Scale. I knew the results were poor, but to think the condition passed on to her child is... So Sapphire Scale is also something that's deeper than we know, because the like actual Gorosei, the actual Tenryubito, are doing experiments to try to figure something out, and that's what gave her the Sapphire Scale, like the other failures. So even Sapphire Scale is deeper than we know. What? And then we have Kuma crashing into the island, I would assume. Something landed over there. Everything. It was all you. Experiments? How dare you, Saturn? Those Sapphire scales tore Kuma's family apart. They're the reason he threw his life away. You used it as a bargaining chip when you were the one responsible. Look at it from my perspective. Do you comprehend the feelings of the insects you step on? Of course not. And then we have the crying. Is it a pacifista? No, look at his palms. He has paws. This is an urgent report from the southwest coast. The ex-warlord of the sea, Bartholomew Kuma, has made landfall. He's heading straight... And of course, Chekhov's gun, he has to actually have the ability to bring his personality back. He's heading straight for the center of the island. Our authority chip commands aren't working. We can't stop him. What a fiasco. How could Kuma possibly be here? I can't hold on. I'm so scared. He's here now. Stop him. Fire at will. Yes, sir. I can't force myself to speak anymore. Daddy? It feels like my heart is shattering. And we see him getting shot. And falling over. But getting back up. Open fire. Don't stop till you're out of ammo. At this point, I think I'd be better off dead. This is it. Man, and she cries and she thinks the same thing that he thought when he was a kid. I'm so sorry, Daddy. All that shrieking is unbearably noisy. You insufferable waif. Blow her head off. Oh, and we see Kuma coming into the frame, and Ursa's shock destroying everything. I'm so sorry, Daddy. And she gets dropped. You fought really hard for me to live, but... And then, is that him cradling her? And it looks like he's blocking the attack from Saturn. Daddy. It's Bartholomew Kuma. And he turns around and grabs onto the spike from his leg. And goes back for a punch, and we get cliffhung there. As she transforms back into her young, like, I guess, base form Bonney self again. It's so good. Kuma and Bonney's story is so good. I mean, I don't know if we got anything else here. I don't really think we did. I guess Zoan transformation, technically, yeah, because, what's his face? The Saturn is transformed. Wow. That was really good. I think their story is one of the high points of One Piece right now. It's so incredibly good. But yeah, not much else to talk about. You know, Bonney and Kuma are great. But we'll have to see where it goes. I'm just so excited. We got left on such an awful cliffhanger. Awful not as in bad writing. Awful as in like, it's so hard to wait another week. And it's not even going to be another week. It might be another couple of weeks. It's going to be a rough wait for the next one. It's so good right now, though. So we're back to the present. Luffy's eating, though. Kizaru might be a traitor to the world government. He might actually just be on Vegapunk's side. So Kizaru's an interesting character, but we don't know enough yet. Luffy's eating, which means he might be able to full heal because he can just... You know, what are stakes when a couple of steaks can full heal the main character? But either way, like, it was enough for him to take down Kaido. So he might be able to go back and recover. But it's just so weird. I would think that Kuma has the ability to just yeet them all out of there. But the thing is, they're all so separated. Like, we have some of them down here at the plaza where they're facing off with Saturn. But some of them in the ship itself, they're all over the place. So do we get another crew split? It's a little, you know, you got to think what happens. Or do they all just magically, hey, we were off screen dealing with these vice admirals, but who cares? And now we're all back. That could be possible too. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see where things go. But either way, thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there too. Tell me what you thought of this week's chapter, my thoughts, my reaction, all that. As usual, like I said, go play bingo yourself if you want to. Down in the comments or description, you can generate your own card. Subscribe for more One Piece, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. And if you would like to get these videos a bit early, if you'd like to have a shout out at the end of every video, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description, or a channel member by hitting join down below. Thank you all so much for watching though. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all. Wait a second, I need to do those aforementioned shoutouts. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Ollie, Magical Girls Evernono and Smeller Dog, Cheriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element, Pate Arde Owl. Thank you all so much for your support, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.